Hello everyone, welcome to the ITLS Academy. Today's lecture is on the topic control of microorganisms by using your antimicrobial chemotherapy. So let's start our lecture with the antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agent. Antimicrobial chemotherapy is the use of chemicals to inhibit or kill the microorganism in or on the host surface. So chemotherapy is based on the selective toxicity. Okay, this means that the agent used must inhibit or kill the microorganism in question without seriously harming the host. Next point is your antibiotic achieves selective toxicity by exploiting the differences between the eukaryotes and prokaryotes. The most profound difference are at the cell wall and at the ribosomal level. It follows then the most of our antibiotic either they inhibit your bacterial cell wall synthesis or they inhibit the synthesis of bacterial proteins. So here are some these are the some criteria. These are some methods how the work of antibiotic is done. In order to be selectively toxic, a chemotherapeutic agent must interact with some microbial function or microbial structure that is either not present or is substantially different from that of the host. For example, in treating infections caused by your prokaryotic bacteria, the agent may inhibit the peptidoglycan synthesis or alter the bacterial ribosomes. And in that, human cells do not contain your peptidoglycan and possess the eukaryotic ribosomes. Therefore, the drug shows a little, if any, effect on the host or we can say selective toxicity. Okay, next is based on their origin, there are two general classes of antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agent. The first one is your antibiotic and the second one is your antimicrobial chemotherapeutic chemicals. In antibiotic, substances produced as your metabolic product or of one organism which inhibit or kill others microorganisms. And next is your antimicrobial chemotherapeutic chemical. In this, the chemical synthesized in the laboratory and which can be used for your therapeutically on microorganisms of other surfaces. So today the distinction between these two classes is not as clear since many antibiotics are extensively modified in the laboratory or evenly they synthesized without the help of the microorganism. So most of the major groups of antibiotics were discovered as we know prior in 1955 and most antibiotic advances since then have come about by modifying the older forms, and in fact only three major groups of the microorganisms have yielded useful antibiotics. So in that the first one is your actinomycetes, the filamentous branching of the soil bacteria such as your streptomyces. Next is the bacteria of the genus Bacillus and the saprophytic molds, we call that penicillin and cephalosporin. So some antimicrobial agents are cidal in action, means they kill the microorganism totally. For example, if we talk about your penicillin, your cephalosporin, your streptomycin, neomycin, these are the some antibiotic which have your cidal action in order to kill the microorganism, and others are static in nature. Static in action means they inhibit the microbial growth long enough for the body's own defenses and to remove the organism. In this, we can use the example of take your tetracyclines, the erythromycin, your sulfonamides. These are the some of the antibiotics that have a static action, means they do not kill the bacteria purely, not 100%, but they inhibit their action or make them static for few hours or for longer time. Next is your antimicrobial agent, also vary in their spectrum, and drugs that are effective against a variety of both your gram positive and gram negative bacteria are said to be broad spectrum. Means broad spectrum antibiotics are those which have their effect against both your gram positive as well as your gram negative bacteria. In that, again, we take the example of your tetracycline, your streptomycin, cephalosporin, and most commonly available is your ampicillin, sulfonamides. These all are the examples that comes under your broad spectrum antibiotic. Next, last point is your those effective against just only gram positive bacteria or just only gram negative bacteria or only a few species. They are termed as your narrow spectrum. So narrow spectrum means they are either effective against your gram positive or effective against your gram negative bacteria. For example, take your penicillin G, erythromycin, clindamycin, your gentamicin. These are the some narrow spectrum bacteria. Narrow spectrum antibiotics. So if a choice is available, a narrow spectrum is preferable since it will cause less destruction of the body's normal flora, and in fact indiscrimination use of broad spectrum antibiotics can lead to superinfection of the opportunist microorganisms such as your candida, clostridium difficile, and when the body normal floras are destroyed. Next is your antimicrobial agents that inhibits the peptidoglycan synthesis. Okay, here I have discussed about your antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agent and their major classes on which they are generally divided. Means on the how they are effective, how they act on the microorganism, means they are cidal or they are static or they are broad spectrum, narrow spectrum. So examples are commonly used in antibacterial chemotherapeutic agents arranged according to their mode of action. So here now I am talking about this is another mode of infection, another mode of action of the antimicrobial agent which inhibit the peptidoglycan synthesis. Okay, first antibiotic is your beta-lactam. What happens? Beta-lactam. The most common example of this is your penicillin, your cephalosporin, carbapenems, monobactams. They are usually bactericidal. They generally inhibits the last step of peptidoglycan synthesis, which includes your transpeptidation, and may trigger your endogenous enzymes that degrade the peptidoglycan, and spectrum of various beta-lactams varies according to their mode of action. If we talk about, for example, I am taking your penicillin. Naturally, penicillin are highly effective against your gram-positive bacteria and very few gram-negative bacteria, but are inactivated by bacterial enzyme penicillase. Next is your glycopeptidase. In this, it comes, we take the example of vancomycin and teicoplanin, and these are the some important, let me clear you one thing, these are the some important antimicrobial agent that is most commonly asked in every exams of NET, CISR, NET, UGC NET. These are the some common questions on which could be asked on the basis of antimicrobial agent. The next is your glycopeptide. Glycopeptide, here we taking the examples of vancomycin and teicoplanin. It prevents the peptidoglycan cross-linking. In earlier, the beta-lactam, what happens? They inhibit the last stage of peptidoglycan, but here it prevents the cross-linking of the peptidoglycan. And it is more effective against your gram-positive bacteria than your gram-negative bacteria, and important in treating multi-drug resistant bacteria. Next is your phosphonomycin. It inhibits the synthesis of peptidoglycan. And last one is your bacitracin. It inhibits again the synthesis of peptidoglycan and used topically because of toxicity. So here we have discussed about beta-lactam. Let me again remind you that it triggers the end stage of the peptidoglycan synthesis. Your glycopeptidase prevents the cross-linking, and the last two inhibits the synthesis of peptidoglycan. So when the peptidoglycan layer is not formed, it could resist the growth of the bacteria due to the stoppage of the peptidoglycan layer synthesis. The next is the mode that depends upon the mode of action. In the previous slide, I have discussed about some of the antimicrobial agent that resist the peptidoglycan synthesis, and now we are discussing about the antimicrobial agent that inhibits the protein synthesis. This is the another mode of action, how the antimicrobial agents prevent the growth of microbes. In this, we are taking the first one as your aminoglycosides. Here we are taking the example of kanamycin, your gentamicin, your streptomycin, tobramycin, amikacin, nitrosamicin, neomycin, spectoinomycin. These are the examples of aminoglycosides, and their mode of action is just they inhibit the protein synthesis in the growing unwanted bacteria microbial growth. How they act? They binds to the 30S ribosomal subunit and prevent the protein synthesis. Once the binding occurs at the active site of ribosomal subunit, it could resist the protein synthesis, no translation occurs, and hence the growth of another type of microbial in the environment could be pretended. So it has your bactericidal effect and potentially nephrotoxic and ototoxic. Okay, the next is your tetracycline. It includes your example the tetracycline and doxycycline. They also again bind 30S ribosomal subunit and prevent the protein synthesis. They are also generally they are bacteriostatic, means they prevent makes the stage static in nature, and you have to avoid use in pregnancy and in children under 8 because of interference with the bone development and brown straightening of the teeth. So these are the following list of the antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agent which are listed for against the generic and brand name arranged by their mode of action. These agents, what happen? They prevent the bacteria from synthesizing the structural protein and enzymes, and they act in both they act in two ways. Firstly, these agents that block the transcription, means I have told you about the aminoglycosides. They binds to the ribosomal, means they are blocking the transcription unit, prevent the synthesis of mRNA and of the DNA synthesis. Next is your tetracycline, that is again based on first method, agent that blocks the transcription. Next is your chloramphenicol. Example again, your chloramphenicol. This also based on the same method. What happens, they block to the these agents that block the transcription unit and hence preventing the synthesis of mRNA and of the DNA. So in previous one they were binding to the 30S ribosome. In the first one also they were binding to the 30S ribosome, but this one binds to 50S ribosomal subunit and prevent your protein synthesis and may also interfere with the microbial ribosome, leading to the toxicity problems. Used to treat your typhoid fever. Okay, so next is also mode of action is your agent that blocks the translation unit, means alter the bacterial ribosome to prevent the mRNA from being translated into the protein. Okay, these are the few ones. First, next is your macrolides. In this it comes your erythromycin and azithromycin. They again binds to 50S ribosomal subunit and prevents the elongation of the peptide chain, and bacteriostatic for most of the bacteria. They sometimes they act as an bactericidal for some of the gram positive bacteria. The next example is your lincosamides. In this your lincomycin and clindamycin drugs are used. Their mode of action is also depends on the same process, means they binds to the 50S ribosomal subunits and prevent the elongation of your peptide chain. They are bacteriostatic in nature and bactericidal for some of the gram positive bacteria. Your clindamycin, what happens, penetrates to the bone well and also hits many of the gram positive and gram negative anaerobes except the Clostridium difficile, and is often resistant, and this may lead to pseudomembranous clotulase. Next is your streptogramins, also known as ketolides. In this your cyanocytes mixture of the dalfopristin and quinupristin are used. Their mode of action is also based on the same process, means they will bind to the 50S subunit, ribosomal subunit, and prevents the elongation of the peptide chain. Individual components are bacteriostatic and the mixture is bactericidal, used for the antibiotic resistance strain of Enterococcus and Staphylococcus. Okay, next method is based on your antimicrobial agent that alters the cytoplasmic membrane. So till now we have understood about antimicrobial agent that were purely divided into the broad spectrum basis, your bactericidal effect and static. Next we have learned about the mode of action. Some they are having the mode of action by resisting the peptidoglycan synthesis. Next we have learned about your antimicrobial agent that will have the effect by resisting the protein synthesis, blocking the protein synthesis process. Next, third mode of action is based on your antimicrobial agent that will alter the cytoplasmic membrane. So a common problem in antimicrobial agent, sorry, not a problem, the next next mode of action is the alteration of cytoplasmic membrane of microorganism results in the leakage of the cellular material. So the following is a list of common antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agent listed here based on their generic and brand names and arranged by their mode of action. First one is your polymyxin B, that is produced by your bacterium Bacillus. Polymyxin B is used for severe Pseudomonas infection. Next is your amphotericin B, produced by some bacterium Streptomyces, and it is used for the systematic fungal infection. Third one agent is your niacin, produced by the bacterium Streptomyces, and nystatin is used mainly by Candida yeast infection. Last one is your imidazoles produced by the bacterium Streptomyces, and the imidazoles are antifungal antibiotic used for the yeast infection, dermatophytic infection, and systematic fungal infection, such as it includes your clotrimazole, miconazole, ketanazole, itraconazole, and fluconazole. These all are the medicines, these all are the agents that is used against your fungal infection, and their mode of action is depends on the alteration of cytoplasmic membrane. Means the cytoplasmic membrane of a microorganism are broke down, and that results in the leakage of the cellular material, and hence when the cell wall is not in proper shape, so the bacteria could not resist, or the infection the microbes could not resist in the environment, and this results in the lysis of the cell. So next one is your another mode of action that is based on your antibiotic that inhibits the nucleic acid synthesis or DNA replication. First one we had talked about your peptidoglycan synthesis. Means when the bacterial wall synthesis could not be made, the growth could be maintained. The growth of the microbes, unwanted microbes, could be controlled. Okay, next mode of action, the second one mode of action I have told you about, the protein synthesis, means inhibition of the protein synthesis and enzymes in the bacteria, and if it could be blocked, then also we can control the microorganism. Third mode of action is your alteration in the cytoplasmic membrane, and the fourth one is your inhibition of the nucleic acid synthesis and DNA replication. So the following is a list of some common antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agent that listed by both generic and brand name and are arranged by their mode of action. So here the first one is your quinolones, for example your ciprofloxacin, your norfloxacin, and nalidixic acid. Their mode of action is, I told you, they inhibit the nucleic acid. Now how they inhibit? What happened? They bind to the DNA gyrase and then preventing the DNA supercoiling. So when gyrase activity is stopped, the supercoiling of the DNA could not be happen, and this could resist the formation of the DNA. It is a broad bactericidal activity and effective against some of the intracellular bacteria. Doesn't hit streptococcus nor anaerobes very hard, therefore tend to be benign to the oral as an intestinal flora. Next class is your metronidazole. Example, flagyl. It interferes with DNA replication and creates the breakage in the DNA. So must be activated by flavodoxin and ferredoxin of the host cell. These are the found in anaerobic bacteria. It is effective against the anaerobic and macroaerophilic bacteria, also effective against some protozoa such as your Trichomonas, Giardia, and Entamoeba histolytica. So in this class, it is a drug that is activated by the microbial protein flavotoxin or ferredoxin found in the macroaerophilic and anaerobic bacteria and certain protozoans. Once activated, the metronidazole puts the nick in the microbial DNA strands, and hence it prevents the DNA replication. It inhibits the DNA replication. Last one is your rifampin. Example, rifadin. It prevents the synthesis of bacterial messenger RNA, and it is a broad spectrum drug used in tuberculosis therapy and also to treat the contact of bacterial meningitis. So rifampins generally produced by the bacterium Streptomyces, and it is effective against some of the gram-positive, gram-negative bacteria also, and Mycobacterium tuberculosis. They inhibit the enzyme RNA polymerase. So these were the some three types of drugs or agents that is being used, which have the effect, which have the mode of action by inhibiting the nucleic acid synthesis or your DNA replication, either by binding to the DNA gyrase or by making a nick in the DNA. That is the depends on which type of drug you are using. Which type of chemicals you are using. Next is your antibiotics that interferes with the metabolic pathway. Take your trimethoprim or sulfonamides. Sulfonamides are the clotrimazoles. Sulfonamides. Clotrimazoles is a combination of sulfametazole and trimethoprim. Both of these drugs blocks the enzyme in the bacterial pathway requires for the synthesis of tetrahydrofolic acid and a cofactor needed by the bacteria to make the nucleotide based thymine, guanine, uracil and adenine. This is how the sulfonamide activity is done. Here is the example of bacterium and inspectorite. It inhibits the enzyme. I told you tetrahydrofolate biosynthetic pathway. It is a broad spectrum against bacteria, some fungi and some protozoa. Means with the combination of sulfonamide and trimethoprim, these drugs both in the combination works by blocking the enzyme in the bacterial pathway required for the synthesis of tetrahydrofolic acid. That is why it is an antibiotic which interferes the metabolic pathway. Next topic is your microbial resistance to antimicrobial chemotherapy agents. What happens when we use antibiotics, when we use antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agent, any of the agents, the microbes get adapted to this and they found a resistant to that drug. So here a common problem in the microbial chemotherapy is the development of resistant strain of bacteria. Most bacteria becomes resistant to the antimicrobial agent by one or the more of the following mechanism. Either they producing enzymes which detoxify or inactivate the antibiotic, example your penicillinase and other beta lactamase, altering the target. Next is how they become resistant. Firstly, I told you by producing some of the enzyme. Next is they alter the target site of the bacterium or to reduce or block the binding of the antibiotic. Example, they are producing a slightly altered ribosomal subunit that still functions but to which the drug cannot bind. Third mechanism is they find the resistant by preventing transport of antimicrobial agent into the bacterium. For example, they produce an altered cytoplasmic membrane or outer membrane. Fourth one is developing an alternate metabolic pathway to bypass the metabolic steps being blocked by the antimicrobial agent. For example, overcoming the drugs that resembles the substrate and tie up the bacterial enzyme. Last one is the increasing the production of a certain bacterial enzyme. For example, overcoming the drugs that resembles the substrate and tie up the bacterial enzyme. So what happens when we are giving too much of antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agent continuously? The bacteria or microbes find some of the way of resisting the activity of the antimicrobial agents. So these were the ways how they act on the how they act to prevent themselves by blocking some of the pathways or producing some of the enzyme or making some of the either alterations so that they can easily get through their process and could resist the activity of antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agent. So these changes in the bacterium that enables it to resist in the antimicrobial agent occurs naturally as a result of mutation or genetic recombination of the DNA in the nucleoid, or as a result of obtaining plasmids from other bacteria. So exposure to the antimicrobial agent then select of these resistant strain of the organism. Thank you for being with us. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture today and make yourself understand how the antimicrobial chemotherapeutic agent are responsible, how their mode of action is done, how they are used to prevent the microbial growth, unwanted microbial growth in the environment. For more information, please log on to our website www.itlsacademy.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, LinkedIn, and yes, do not forget to subscribe our channel ITLS Academy at YouTube. Thank you.